that if you don't go in with a visual brand strategy and have a period of time where you're just figuring out what your foundation is, what your keywords are, what your SEO keywords are, who you're talking to, the look and feel that you want, that's infinity, okay? You're playing with infinity there. You're playing with eternity, and you will be spending an eternity trying to get the right photo because there are so many right photos. It just depends on what your intention is. So I would say before you're trying to choose the right thing I want you to think of it as no image stands alone, okay? Your images and photos are going to be part of a visual ecosystem that it all doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, but it should be in harmony, okay? And the best way to do that, whether you are doing this by yourself or you're doing this with a designer, is you have some type of conceptual strategy, personality developed before visuals. And then you create vision boards, collections of images that complement and harmonize with each other. And then after you gather your inspiration, then you put on your left brain hat and you start categorizing what you like, what qualities of the different images and photos are then put into an image style guide that you can create for yourself to kind of rein you in so you're not, going all over the place with your style. So I'm going to show you some examples. Let's share. Google Slides or PowerPoint, something like that. Okay, so this is a brand development deck, okay, where we had a step 1, creative visioning. Step 2 is design. So in that step 1, we had a creative vision call, and if you don't have a designer, get your most creative family member or friend who likes you and sit in a room with them or on Zoom and do this together. Google search, what do I need to define about my brand before I can start visioning, okay? And you define brand keywords, feelings, and then you let that drive the vision board, okay? So here, this is all conceptual work, differentiation, that kind of thing. And these are vision boards. These are visual inspiration that I gathered for the client. And you'll see that I've got kind of different little mini boards that become part of a larger harmony. I love to think in threes, okay? 3 colors, 3 image palettes, right? You have color palettes. You can have image palette. Like one palette can be like, this is close up fluid wood. Here's another category that is, it's more illustrative and teaching with deep browns and golden rings. Another vision board. Okay, we want a rich mini board with ruby red. More ruby red continued. Starting to gather not just images, but typography, fonts. You wouldn't use all of these, right? But this is just saying maybe a handwriting font. Color palette. And then you can see how we translated this into design. Now this is me. This is me for the client. You see how this is the design. This came from this. It's not the same though. This is her design. Fluid wood that I licensed. Fluid wood. The ruby red. this brown. We're not doing orange and green, but we just had that in the mix just in case we wanted to. Very cool, huh? This is going to be when the intellect turns on, when our copy is more intellectual, it's going to have a certain look. So you see, and here I started playing with, so these are the actual designs. I started pulling color from my designs to then start to harmonize it and select. So that's one example. So this brand, other than the client's personal photography, which she had from before, was professionally done, all of this was created with, either from scratch or pieces that were licensed so that I can create this harmonious brand. It's not matchy-matchy, but if you feel like you don't have a lot of creative chops and you just need to be matchy-matchy, do it. It's just, start small. Okay, so here's another example in terms of, that was a lot of stock used artfully. Here's an example of a brand where, this is still in progress, but we used a lot of his actual images. And we found that there were color, composition, form patterns in his own photography that he took. So it wasn't that he went throughout his life thinking, oh, well, I'm going to take this certain type of photography. It just happened that he had a load of gorgeous photos from around the world in his travels that actually could create a brand. This is not rare for my worldy people, okay? I've got my worldies. You know who you are. This is one of my favorite ways to work with images for brands is that when you have someone who's more extroverted and is roaming around the planet, doing events, exploring, praying, pilgrimages, and they have like lots of candid event photos, right? Like that's another category where if you have a lot of candid, high-res, hopefully, shots of event photos or you like candidly in action, love it to create the feeling that you want. And so I really see choosing images as, it's like in the beginning, the circle's really wide, okay? And it's like, I'm like this hawk, all right? I'm like this hawk that just circles big around what the images and photos could be, okay? And part of that might be if a client doesn't have professionally done personal photography, we'll do photography direction. Okay, so just, get your conceptual guideline first. Get your vision boards. And like I was saying, like I circle it like big circle. And so that by the time we're getting to a finalized brand style, then I'm like really circling in for the kill. And I get better and better at this as I get older. And it's tough when you want to create a harmonious palette that, I don't mean color palette, I mean image palette, that anybody on your team can implement. And like, that's another challenge that I'm working on right now is that, okay, I can do it. Can I teach this to a client so that they and their team can just as easily do it? Am I creating easy design tools and easy rules to follow? So you need to become, how do I choose? Well, you must become your own rule maker first, okay? You explore the visuals, you explore your concept, and then you put together some creative, harmonious thing with a creative friend. And then from that, create the rules. The images must evoke this kind of feeling, and we're not going to stray from it. It's really easy to just blow with the wind with whatever images you want to pick. And over time, a brand can decay because of this lack of following your own rules. I heard the story from a designer. There was a museum or something like that they had, when it was first designed and built, it was beautiful, expansive space and the lobby, and it was pristine. And then over time, they would put tables in the lobby, or it just started to get cluttered and filled, and the whole intention of how to use this space decayed over time. And that can happen with your brand. So even if you're at a place where it's like, hey, Cassie, I don't really need to choose new images for my website. Well, has your brand decayed in any way? Like, have you strayed? So take an audit and see, is anything out of tune? Do I need to correct and realign with how I want to show up in the world? Hey, so if you have any questions, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you want to hear yet. So drop a question in the comments. If you're enjoying my videos, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.